now for that to get a job, where we thought it was going to be a piece of cake, but it was not. It was the hardest. Uncle Rudolph got a job almost immediately in a factory in Rothmans, and anyway, again, like I said, God bless Uncle Everett, because they had this terrible vendetta going on. Dad couldn't go and see Uncle Everett. Uncle Everett couldn't come and see Dad. Oh yeah, they were horrible. And of course we were in Grandfather's house, so we didn't want more ricketics, eh? And apparently one Saturday, I think it was Uncle Richard, when picked Dad up because we didn't have a car, and they said we're going to stop in at Everett at the printery. And of course Everett was very, very fun, very more than fun. I think he really loved, if he loved anybody, he really loved that big brother. He did. And he was glad to see him. And he said, but you know, you can come and work with me. And this, and I paid him pretty decent. I think it was $90 a week. And by then, of course, Dad came home, and I guess he's too old man, because we couldn't live. We kept taking money out of the bank, the few dollars, $1,000 that we had, because we had to buy winter clothes. I mean, we paid a moderate for food, not very much, $25 a week, and that was pretty good. Granny was a good cook, but the money kept dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. So Dad got this job sweeping the floor or something at Sears, and $11 a day. Well, we couldn't even starve properly on that. But anyway, when Uncle Everett said that, I think then Grandfather said, well, of course, oh, well, that's all right, you know, because when you make your money, you're all right. Yeah. I used to help Granny all the time. And of course, you know, lots of dishes, lots of this, and of course, you know, Granny, she didn't mind me as a helper, but not that I couldn't do any more. I remember one day I decided to make Jell-O, and she said, "Oh, you didn't do it the right way. Oh!" And I said, "Well, if I can't make Jell-O, what's the point?" And so I had to prove to her that I could, because Jonathan said he knows his Jell-O, eh? You know, Jonathan said he knows good Jell-O. So I wasn't upset. I know she was. I said, "Look, I know how to do it. Like 2 cups, 1 cup of cold water, 1 cup of hot water." And so I had to pour it back into the cup to show her that I really knew how to do Jell-O. Yeah. So they went out. I think Uncle Everett took him, and they went and they found 17th Station Road. Well, you see, the thing was, we tried to get a nice apartment right by Samba, and the lady was awfully nice, but because I had 4 children, I mean, she didn't come right out, but we knew that was why, because it was, I think she was sympathetic. So this time, Dad just went and got this basement apartment, and we met that nice couple, remember them, Les, and she was very attached to her, very sympathetic, because she came over more or less, well, not a war bride, but like she knew how it was to come to a strange country, and they were happy to give us this crummy, and I was delighted to have it. I was set free, because I could go to the hairdresser, I could go to the drugstore, I could go to the everything, the greengrocers. I could even walk to the doctor. But it was the only place that we could have, because with 4 children. And then I promptly found out, as soon as we moved in there, that Larry was on his way. And I went to Dr. Elliott and had no insurance. The insurance coverage didn't kick in till, I don't know, a year or something. So he looked at me and he delivered Larry. And then I had to pay him. And I paid him in cash. I think it was $100 for Larry. It was unbelievable, you know. And then Granny, of course, she missed you guys so much, broke her heart to part with you and Gerard. And I would tell her, you got to come to Canada and visit me. But I had no place to put her. But I couldn't tell her that. And she came. You can't remember, she was all in that little room with 2 kids. There was only 2 bedrooms. And she didn't want to go back, though. It was amazing. She only came, I think, for 6 months. And I mean, the thing was, she shouldn't have been there because the people could have thrown us out. One of you got sick, and I called him, Dr. Elliott, and he said, you're living in a substandard situation. But Granny didn't want to go back. So now I told Uncle Dude, and Uncle Dude always, great white father, but he got Dennis Pereira to take Granny to the immigration department. And of course they were delighted with this nice old lady, who can speak English and everything. And she said, people used to say, oh, they're going to want to see the conditions, they want this and that. Not a bit of it. She said, the immigration officer said to her, you got gloves? In other words, are you taking care of? Gloves of all the things. And she said, yes. He said, okay, you can stay. No problem. Well, when Granny came up, yes, I tried to say what I saw a little ad in the local paper. She obviously didn't want to go back, and she among you all used to have a wonderful time. She used to be scolding and y'all, I don't know. So I thought, don't it 2 women in one little apartment? And Granny really wanted to be there with you. So I got a job. It was actually almost walking distance, a place named A.J. Cyrus. And I used to work there. And Granny stayed with y'all. And Larry started, well, I don't like to think about with asthma. How he lived, I don't know. When Larry was breathing, it was like, I've seen an old man die, my grandfather would think. Anyway, and the doctor finally came and they sent him to the hospital. And which was terrible conditions, because Dad was smoking. There was even cigars. And then I made it worse by putting, this we call it air fresheners, high. I don't know how we didn't kill that poor child. Anyway, so it was a desperate case. We had to move. We didn't have money. Of course we didn't have money, because the little money we had left, we had bought some, as Patsy said, Kissoon furniture, cheapest furniture and stuff like that. So, but we saw what's in a nice place in Mimico, and he asked your grandfather if he would loan him, not a gift, and he said no. And so now, Granny had a little money that she had saved since my papa's time. She was so frugal. And they said that it wasn't a dream house. It was the only place that we could possibly think of. It was near the Catholic school, so that was the important thing. And they would take $500 down. Well, I figured, well, all we got, I mean, even if we can't carry the mortgage, all we lose, we're hardly any worse off. So Granny gave us this $500. That's what we paid for Sandgate, $500. And we moved to Sandgate. And we lived there forevermore, amen. It's funny, I wasn't homesick one day. I thought, I didn't want to come. But I had you all, and then the school was right nearby. I used to come home for lunch, and at 3 minutes I had Mass on Sunday, and I used to have people over to dinner, and this too. Oh, I was happy. I never stopped being grateful for Station Road, because after coming from Sam, I mean, they were kind to me, but too many of us was in that house, and so no, I was always grateful for the Station Road, and then of course it came that we were overcrowded, we had to move, and then we got, it was a case of Sandgate was not, well, we're going to move on. I was so grateful, and it had 4 bedrooms, and it had 2 bathrooms, and the most important thing was the real estate said, yes, they're near Catholic school. I was never homesick one day, and to this day, I'm thanking God for coming to Canada. I didn't want to come. If I had been brothers, I wouldn't have come. Our family don't uproot very easily. I didn't want to come, but I never regretted it, not for one day. No. And I think, I don't know what would have happened if we had stayed in Guyana.